hero wrath you. That'd be terrible. Oh, hey guys, welcome back to 20-somethings TV, the show for 20-somethings by 20-somethings. We hope you're doing well. Happy to be back. It's been a few weeks, but you guys held down the fort, so I appreciate it. I'm your host, Christian Owen, and today I'm joined by my lovely co-hosts, Lee Vanderveen, John Maddock, and Abby Stevenson. Today, we are going to talk about some amazing, outlandish topics. Now, they're pretty safe to say. We've got Columbia University, protesters, we've got AI and Netflix, and we've also got Harry Styles and Stalkers. I put that together like it was a meal.
Yeah, it's all in the same sphere. They're pretty all related.
Yeah.
100%.
What do you guys want to start with today? What should we start with?
Well, we have an order, so.
We do.
All right, I just was trying to be like cool and like free speech and all that, you know. Sometimes you don't get that these days, especially when they're using AI to craft our words and change them.
I was
And
nervous
our
there for a
images.
minute, Christian.
Yeah, sorry. So Netflix, we all know, we watch Outer Banks, 13 Reasons Why, all that. They just created a documentary. They just created a documentary on Jennifer Pan and that whole debacle. It was
Debacle.
It's all.
The whole murder debacle.
For those that
salvage.
don't know, she, who did she murder?
Her parents.
Her
Yeah,
parents.
I don't think she
We're talking
murdered
about
for hire.
parents
Yeah.
murdering
Murder
a
for
lot on
hire
this
plot
show.
she was
Yeah.
involved in.
3 men. It took 3 men to take down her parents.
It would take.
Perfect.
Okay, we're done.
Amazing.
Anyways,
What do you think? We should we?
I think we should roll the clip.
Oh, yes.
Roll the pic, roll the clip.
it's a clip, I think.
To pick
Okay,
a vid
check
of-
out those
Oh,
AI fingers. So the main, I guess, debacle here in this picture was that Netflix was saying that they blurred the background to like protect the sender's identity. But the pictures and her teeth in that photo, AI typically can't get those things right, and her hand is like warped together and strange and odd and weird, and
Yes.
there's just really no way to describe that besides AI.
She just wants peace.
Unless.
She's got long
Unless-
fingers.
Unless she's like a lizard person.
Yes, we know that
Because
those are
that would
real.
explain the fingers.
Yes.
Because they tend to kind
They're
of have
webbed.
that. Yeah. But also, I wouldn't put it past Netflix to be using AI if they just, need a quick little picture to throw in there.
Yeah. So I guess the reason that they allegedly did it was to kind of find a photo of her when she was happy before this murder for hire, so it seemed a little bit more jarring. So it's like there was a couple of them that looked a little suspect.
Yes.
But I just feel like if there's not any pictures of her being happy and partying and smiling, like
Then there shouldn't
then
be.
just don't include
Yeah.
them. Like I don't know. It was a weird thing to do, and for them to be like, no, that's just the way that we edited it. Like it was a choice.
I feel like-
okay.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like this isn't really a huge deal. I feel like this is like, it's like sort of a hot button issue right now to be like, oh, AI and like industry or whatever. But like this is like, it's not like the other things we've been saying where like AI has like written parts of movies and TV shows and like entire scenes. It's just like the cover photo. So I don't think it's like a huge deal, but I think it is telling that the industry is heading in a direction where
Yeah, I mean,
you
I
cut
think
corners,
these
take
like,
money.
true crime stuff, like honestly, since they've started making all these documentaries, because people are like love it so much, have just been taking things and making them bigger than they have to be to get more views. So like, it was only a matter of time before they started using AI to assist them with that to make the story a little bit more interesting or a bigger twist or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think right now I'm not super worried about it, just because it's not at like a level where we can't recognize it.
Unless it is.
I got like really addicted. So I went to Maine for like 2 months, and I don't have Netflix. I got really addicted to this cop show, and that's like so not my vibe. Like I'm just not about that. But I just was like really into it because there's one of the guys from Criminal Minds in it.
Which one? Derek Morgan?
Yes, Derek Morgan. It's
know.
called SWAT.
Okay,
And there's
nice.
an AI scene where like he gets his face like doubled, and they like frame him for a crime, and it looks like hyper realistic. So I think that
Yeah.
until we're at that point, and we might be, but I just haven't seen it until we're at a point where it's unrecognizable and like you can actually be convicted of a crime like for an AI fabricated tape.
Yeah.
I think we'll be okay as long as we
That
continue
actually,
to flag it.
that happened to me.
What did you do? What did you allegedly do?
Or you're a lizard
I don't think my
person.
legal team would want me talking about it
Okay.
on air.
Not
But
at liberty to discuss.
See, what I think's going on here is you're a lizard person, and you're trying to make it like it's not a big deal, and you're getting photoshopped. No, you're just one of them. What do you guys think?
Thank you, Chris.
anyways, I'm not a lizard person. I just want to set the record straight. I have no problem with lizard people. I know plenty of friendly lizard people. But I not a lizard person.
I don't know. Look at his eyes.
Yeah, a little beady.
Oh shit.
Crazy.
Yeah. You know, my eyes would be pretty beady too if I was sleeping in an encampment for days and days. So, anyways, we're gonna move on to our next topic. So, Columbia University had a pretty big protest. This is part of a string of protests ever since the Israeli-Palestine conflict has started, and we've seen it get
Started as operative, but got kicked off into
sure,
the
like
mainstream media.
to the way that it is now.
Yeah.
I guess it is.
Where
it's been
people
going on
actually
for a
care
long
now.
time. Yeah, which is a
People
whole
are like,
nother
we're gonna care
conversation.
now.
Yeah.
Because
Today's
it's
the
on,
day.
Today's
Because
the
actually,
day.
it's on Instagram stories.
Yeah,
so
I
it's
saw an
it's
Instagram
time
story
to
about
get
it. Now I'm an
involved
expert.
in
I guess
programming.
the invasion of
It
Gaza.
was the October 6th attacks on 7th, sorry, on Israel.
And then
so-
everything that happened after was like the Kickstarter, I think, for everything that's been happening recently. Although the conflict has been.
Yeah, it's
years
a
and years.
generational thing. Anyways,
Continue. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I think the protests in Colombia specifically brought up just some questions. We saw 108 arrests without violence or injury, according to the police department. And, it's not necessarily that we're worried about that. We're just worried that they are arresting people. We have another clip to show you guys if we want to roll that now.
this one's actually a clip.
Yeah.
Student protesters have set up new encampments on the New York City campus, just one day after Colombia's President Manouche Shafik called in the NYPD to clear an initial encampment of pro-Palestinian demonstrators, leading to the arrest of 113 people, many who will get their day in court in May. Those dramatic arrests ratcheted up the tension. Some faculty are concerned the university is not respecting students' free speech and right to organize. Joseph Howley is Jewish and an assistant professor of classics.
I don't think anyone I know has ever felt so unsafe on campus as we did watching those cops march into the lawn and drag our students away.
I think he brings up a great point. It's not that there are protests that is scary, it's the police intervention on what is naturally a peaceful protest. It's just college kids voicing their opinions. What's so wrong about that?
Well, what's so interesting is that the president, the reason why she's saying, we can send in the cops is because it's making the campus unsafe. But they're not being arrested for anything violent, it's just for trespassing. They made sure to suspend them first so that they could be trespassing. And so it's interesting that the reason why she's saying, oh yeah, get the NYPD in here, to this professor and this Jewish professor too, that he sees it as it's the opposite way. It's unsafe now because the police are getting involved.
Yeah, I mean, I just think this is a trend of I don't want to say we live in a police state, but we're definitely moving in a direction where people's free speech is getting infringed on. Where, like we've been talking about, it was a peaceful protest about something that is very not peaceful, but I mean, it's the right of students and at the end of the day, people to gather and organize to stand up for a cause that they believe in. So,
Yeah.
I mean, this is just a violation of our rights as Americans, truly.
Yeah.
100%. And the right to protest exists on both sides. On any side of anything, you have that right.
Yeah.
So it's just sort of, it doesn't really make any sense to me, especially on a college campus, because I feel like that is sort of where you go to organize things
And,
like that with
learn how to
like-minded people.
Voice those
Yes.
things
Yeah.
separate
Yeah.
as an individual. You
Yeah.
come into yourself and you're like, okay, this is what I believe in.
Yeah.
And,
Young adults,
they're turning a place of learning into a place where they're like, okay, well, you can't really talk about the things that you've learned.
Yeah.
And your own experiences and things that you actually care about.
And sending the police in is only going to escalate anything.
Yeah.
So if you don't want it to be unsafe, I don't know why the cops are coming
Yeah.
in and arresting people. It's just,
Doesn't really make any sense.
Nope.
It is in the middle of New York City. I feel like on a campus like ours, where we are sort of we're contained to our area. Columbia is just in the middle of the city. So I would sort of see more why it would be unsafe for there to be people just hanging around. I was almost trying to pose this question before to you guys before we aired. Is if there were a bunch of people camped out, protesting on our quad, how would you feel about that? If it was outside your dorm or something like that.
I mean, I think it'd be cool you know, like I just said, it's their right to protest, and I mean, I don't know what they could really be doing that would be disturbing my everyday life, like unless they're like, I don't know, like going to the bathroom and stuff, like, and not cleaning up after it. But like, even so, like, especially like, this is so funny because especially in somewhere like New York where there's like more like, I don't know, there's like a homeless person or like 5 homeless people per block, like, but these are all like Columbia students, like they're all like well off like people, like it's just like what could, I don't really understand the justification for like this sort of, like, is it to send a message or like prove a point? Like they're all gonna get lawyered up anyways, like.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you saw it in the clip though, like the protesters had like organized like food, water, like adequate things to sustain themselves while they're trying to voice their opinions and talk about an important issue. So I think at this point it was like they're not really doing anything disruptive. They're organized and
I think the organization is what's considered disruptive.
That's so silly.
I think always when things are getting to a head like this, especially at a lot of college campuses, I mean, we had protests here. It's when things are organized and people are really like band together that then it becomes a threat, peaceful or not, people standing together. And I know that before they were making the arrest, they were threatening it, and there was other stuff, but people still stayed because they really believe in this. So then it becomes like, all right, break this up
now
by
it's
force
serious.
now.
Now it's
because we can't just threaten them and they're gonna like go away.
Just to leave it on one more note, I have some friends here who worked on a protest through the campus. They got like approved and stuff like that, and I think that there's a lot of merit to organized protests, and like this should not discourage anyone else from doing something like this. But yeah, I definitely want to see these people like brought back to, they should not be arrested. It's scary for people like us because we're part of that student body too.
Yeah.
But yeah, the police got involved in something I think is a little more justifiable. We had this woman, Myra Carvalho, who sent 8,000 cards to Harry Styles in 1 month. 8,000 cards. We have a clip to roll for that, and let's go see what happened.
A British woman will spend over 3 months behind bars for sending thousands of greeting cards to pop star. He is a popular star too, Harry Styles, and admitting to stalking him. The 35-year-old woman says she sent 8,000 cards over the course of a month to Styles. The court also giving her a 10-year restraining order in which she's barred from contacting the 30-year-old singer. She's also not allowed to go near Styles' London neighborhood or attend any concerts or events where he might be performing.
14 weeks, but 10-year restraining order, but 14 weeks in jail. Like, I'm sorry, that's just funny.
I'm just wondering, like, totally justified. That's really creepy.
Yes.
How would they know? Like, how would they stop her from getting a ticket to one of his concerts or something?
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of, that's how like restraining orders work. Like, obviously, you can like still.
If you're caught there?
Yeah, if you're caught there, basically, if you get caught up.
I was gonna say that would be really hard
it's not
to
like a force field that like makes it so they can't come.
Because he's always surrounded by like huge groups of people.
Yeah.
You know what else seems really difficult? Sending 8,000 cards in a month. How often was she sending cards?
That's a full-time job, babe.
That is a full-time job. That's a lot of stamps too.
She's just gonna let her. She's gonna give her hand a nice long rest in jail because honestly,
her carpal tunnel going away.
Her carpal tunnel is crazy. She's gonna get out of jail and be like,
"Thank
who
God,
am I writing to next? Next pen pal."
Yeah.
It's like I think it's crazy. Oh, sorry, I dropped my bad.
Oops.
Oops. Okay. Party foul. I guess Harry Styles had another stalker prior to this. I think it was a homeless man that lived kind of hung out around outside of his house. And Harry Styles left one day and was like, "Oh, I hate to see somebody like so young like struggling." So we offered to put him up in a hotel and like buy him some food. And the man like took note of that and like wouldn't leave after that. And so I think that's another thing of like just taking advantage of somebody's like kindness. It obviously like sucks that, if I had a nickel for every time, kind of weird it happened twice kind of situation. But this one's a little bit more like Criminal Minds-esque. Like this one's a little sketchy.
I want to see this one.
I mean, I feel like
I've seen there is like the like the first or second episode of Criminal Minds is about like a pop star being stalked. Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, it was cool. I mean, what I was gonna say is that pop stars like kind of get stalked all the time. So like obviously they're people too, and they have rights to privacy and whatnot. But like, 14 weeks in jail for this is like kind of a lot, low-key, in my opinion. Like, that's like, what, like 3 months?
3 months,
3
yeah.
months. That's like kind of for like,
Yeah.
and like when you really think
For
about
just being
it,
a fan?
she was doing the most. Like,
I wonder like what was in the letters that made it like escalate.
I'm
though.
sure
I wonder if
I
they're
think
like
it was the fact that
essays.
she like found his, like was able to get
Where to
things
send
in
them.
to like certain addresses. Like, cause I've been looking, I can't find his
I want to like see these cards and like, I wonder if they're just like I wonder if like she's doing it like text where like it would be like blah 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 blah, and then like he doesn't reply and it's like, oh, I hate you, Harry. Like, you're the worst person ever. And the next one's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Like, I should
Yeah,
have done
like
that.
this one's unhinged. It's like a Stan thing. with
Maybe
Eminem.
she used AI to write.
Oh,
3,000
maybe she
letters.
did use
What if she
AI
like
to
put like
write
Love
it.
Harry Styles, amazing, my favorite person in the world, like in a bot and just had it go? Have we considered that possibility?
That's terrible.
I mean,
Because with that, like the
Stop talking
possibilities
about
are really
AI.
endless.
God, I'm
We
actually.
can't stop talking
I'm gonna
about
go
AI.
upload my brain
This
to the mainframe.
is actually AI.
Make me
The
sing like
viewers
Harry
don't
Styles.
realize, but none of this is real.
We're all holograms.
Literally.
We need to wrap this up right now. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you see an AI app on your phone or anyone else's, delete that shit and reinstall YouTube. Oh, sorry about that
Almost made it
word.
the whole episode, Christian.
Thank you guys so much for being here. If I can quote Justin Peters, stay 20. I hope I never have to do that again. Goodbye.